We're here with our 2008 Chevy Equinox with a 3.4 liter V6 emergency repair video. Those always kind of suck because they're on the fly. What we have here is half of the harmonic balancer. We had a on-the-road failure of the balancer, but it was kind of linked ahead by some symptoms. We were starting to track down where it seemed like the air conditioning pulley, whenever the air conditioner locked on, would actually start smoking the belt, which we thought it might have been drag on the AC compressor, causing the belt to slip and thus causing maybe some smoking. But come to find out, it actually wasn't anything to do with the AC, except the AC puts a load on the engine. It was actually the harmonic balancer now that we look at how it's constructed and things like that. The harmonic balancer, of course, is attached to the crankshaft and it powers all the accessories on the motor. What we didn't realize, or what I didn't realize, is that there's actually a rubber band that goes through this harmonic balancer. So this inner core and this outer core, which are both metal, are connected by the rubber, what I thought was almost like a belt that you see right here. So they're probably pressed together because there is a groove on the inside right there, and there is a ridge on this inner core, which right now is still on the car. But what was happening, I guess, is that with the extra load of the air conditioner, this pulley was starting to move at a different speed than the inner pulley. So essentially we were getting some slippage, causing some rubber burning, and from there it's a downhill slope as to where things start getting progressively worse till you get actually an on-the-road failure. Another symptom that we've had was and I don't know if this will fix it or not, we'll find out when we put the new one on. We had a chirp on startup. So every time you start the car, you'd hear a chirp from the accessory system. I figured by changing the belt, we would get rid of that chirp, and we didn't. But since it's not really an issue, it's a quick chirp, it wasn't a big deal. So, but now in retrospect, looking back, that chirp might have been this pulley just slightly moving on this rubber every time the vehicle started. And then, of course, the drag of the AC compressor would make things slip some more, and then eventually just running the engine would make it slip, and that's when it actually just burnt out the belt. Because I was able to go to my local Napa, which is Stettler Auto Parts, and get one of these. They're about $100 Canadian, so you're probably looking at a little bit less in the US. It's a harmonic balancer and a key. Don't forget the key here. And access to this is actually fairly decent. If we go down below, and I actually brought my flashlight, there is a small splash shield that you can pull off, which is kind of loose right here. And then bam, right there. And so you can see the other half of the harmonic balancer still on the motor. You can see there's a bolt, that side there, and of course some of the belt that's going there. So we just had a complete failure of that. Doesn't look like anything else in the accessory system is bad. So in this video, what we're gonna do is replace it, which should be fairly straightforward, but we'll see how it goes, right? It's one of those, just kind of got to do it things. So what I'm going to do is lift the car up, we'll take the wheel off, we'll get some access, I'll get you all set up, and then we'll start tearing this thing apart. There is a splash shield that's held on with plastic rivets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then oddly it comes along here and here, and they're fairly easy. You just got to pry that little tab out, and then that releases it, and you can just pull the whole thing out. So with the splash shield removed, you can clearly see the inner core of the harmonic balancer here. We have the one nut, which is 18 millimeter. This will be challenge number 1, as it's on here pretty good. You figure it's been living its life for a long time now. It's been cranked on and beaten on, and it's really going to be in there. When we put it back, it'll be 52 foot-pounds, but until we do, this thing is probably going to be on there pretty tight. The other thing we'll need to do is use a puller to pull this shaft, or pull this pulley off the shaft. And I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I think we might put the bolt back in and use this as our pushing surface, or I might just get like a metal nickel and put it over there and then use that flat surface as a means to pull it out. Haven't gotten there yet, but let's go ahead, and I'm going to mount the camera on a tripod so I can just talk to you guys. And we'll see. We'll try it with a wrench first. You never know, right? We'll try it with a wrench first, and if we have to get fancier than that, we'll see where we go.
It slipped, yeah.
Yep. Did we get her? Oh, we got her. Holy crap, what a pain in the butt that was. It is a conventional turn bolt, by the way. Had to research the heck out of that too, that you're not working on it so it pops it off, you know. Bam. And this is a high grade bolt and a big washer. And there is our beautiful little harmonic balancer. Now free, but it also is oily. So that might be, I guess it's exposed to the gallery or something. I'm not sure why there's so much engine oil here. There's a lot of spray. I put some screw loose on here too. That's another Napa product. Not to plug Napa, but I've had a lot of luck with this lately. This thing, you let it soak for a little bit and it just breaks stuff apart. So I'm happy with that. But okay, so next we're gonna have to do a puller. It's getting, I see some deforming. I'm looking for movement between that and this. I think I'm just gonna switch to my nut because I think that's fairly safe. Where here I could be damaging something. Pop out again. Flip those over maybe. That's the dog. Yep. And we have our flat bar, our flat beam. Looks like we might be getting somewhere. Something's gonna pop anyway. Yeah. Best. Nice. All right, I got that. Recorded it too, even. Woohoo. So there's the seal. There's the key. I don't know if we'll be able to get that out or if we actually care. I think we'll leave it in, and the other one did come with a key, but so there it is. That's the old girl. Yeah, there's a little bit of silicone in there, but anyway, let's take a break here and then we'll, I guess, get the new one in. Not sure we're gonna do that yet. So the old one is off. We'll look at that one later. That'll be pretty cool to see. I kind of messed around with it a little bit. It's pretty neat how it fits together. But if we're gonna get this car on the road tomorrow, which, oh, by the way, I'm trying to get this car on the road tomorrow, we got to keep going. So next step for me is to grease everything. I got a tub of grease here, so I'm going to put it on my finger. And we're going to grease everything, including the seal, because it's going to have to find a new home now too, right? It's been riding on this old harmonic balancer now for a while. And honestly, I'm probably going to have to come back and change the seal anyway, just because it's used to the old one. But we'll get to that later. We'll make sure it's not too crazy. Leaky, but we'll need to lubricate. I'm also lubricating the shiny part here, the inside, because that's also where the seal sits, and the inside, because that's where we've got to fit over the crankshaft. And I should probably also, before I get too far, take my bolt, make sure I didn't hurt anything with my puller here. That should screw right in. Yeah, I mean, we're in hardened steel land too, right? So we're not gonna, that's gonna be peachy. So we're cool there. That's awesome. That bolt might be long enough to pull us in. Let's see if we can. Because it's an aftermarket part, if there's a little bit more play in it than the OEM one, maybe not. Tough to say. I'm guessing no. Steal the light here. Although probably good light for you, good light for me. So that's like about where it should be. I wonder if we have any? We got a little bit of threadage there. way there. I know there was a little bit of a gap to begin with. I better lay my peepers. Come up with another means to block this from turning. Ah, yes. That worked well before. Let's try it again. Here we go. 52. Yeah, baby. There's 50. Right there. That's a lot more than it seems. There we go. Perfect. So now we're torqued down. I guess the next step is to put on the belt. And I need some more lighting because it is dark. It's got night on me somewhere. Okay, cool. Let's do that up. The belt tensioner design on the Equinox, by the way, sucks. The tensioner, you got to get your... I did a video on it. Maybe I'll link to it here. But you have to get a ratchet on that. Good luck. It's so close to the fender there that you've got to squeeze the belt. So it's a two-person job if you got the wheel off of it. And you end up, you know, pulling against the tensioner by hand and slipping it under that smooth pulley there. That's the only way I've gotten it to go. So we've got everything on. Everything seems lined up. So I'm going to have my test partner fire it up and we'll take a look at everything and see how it goes. Go ahead and give her a start. Look at that. She's running again. Fantastic. Yeah, that's pretty cool when you look at it. Component of the Harmonic Balancer. You can see where this rubber belt is supposed to go all the way around inside between the two. Otherwise, it's kind of a groove inside and a bump on ridge on the outside. And for sure, I think the chirping I was getting on start was actually this slipping. It won't really go on well with the belt anymore because I imagine it's quite a press fit. What it was is the inside and the outside just spinning a bit. So whenever you started the car, it'd go chirp, and then it would be fine. And then a year or so later, we actually got the primary failure, because when I originally looked underneath the car, I see this rubber hanging down. I'm like, oh, that's a serpentine belt. It must have broken, but it wasn't actually. I can't get that back in. Anyway, so that's the failed component. That's all metal, and this is all metal. I think this chink is just by it getting maybe falling out of the car. I don't think it's so shiny and not corroded that it must have happened near the end. So that's the explanation of the part failure. I kept the old key, and you can see they gooped a little goop to keep the old key in, but I think she's old enough now that I'm not going to worry about that. Oh no, the accessory belt will start slipping, but there you go.